In the United States, nearly 49 million people have at least one form of disability. In Utah, it's nearly 22% of our population. However, when it comes to Utah's legal profession, only 1% of people with disabilities are represented.
My name is Mary Ann Davies, and I'm a supervising attorney with the Disability Law Center.
My name's Kelly McFarland, and I work for McFarland Legal Works.
My name is Sarah Calvert, and I'm studying law at Brigham Young University Law School.
My name is Nate Krippis. I'm the Public Affairs Supervising Attorney at the Disability Law Center.
I'm Amy Morgan. I'm the Deputy Director at Utah Legal Services.
I was formerly diagnosed with a mental health disability.
I'm a amputee above the knee on my left leg.
I have a disability called cerebral palsy.
I was actually just diagnosed with Crohn's disease.
About 10 years ago, I experienced a rare medical event that left me with a brain injury.
I decided that I wanted to learn more about challenges that people with disabilities face in the United States today, and that made me really want to go to law school and become an attorney.
I think what motivates me in my profession is really the care and concern for the people that our organization serves. There are a lot of disparities for people with disabilities, from underrepresentation in the workforce to discrimination in housing to inability to access services.
The legal career can be an intimidating journey for anyone, and for individuals with disabilities, it comes with unique challenges.
There are a lot of disabilities I think that nobody knows about that you wouldn't recognize. I'm sure people would see me and think I am not a person with disability.
One thing that's always feared in the legal profession is that you're not going to be able to compete with or seen as good as others.
Probably a week or so after leaving the hospital, I did have a hearing scheduled in court. The client was very patient with me. Opposing counsel was less so. I was making an argument before the court on behalf of my client. The court commissioner turned to opposing counsel, asked if he agreed with what I had stated on the record, and their response was they had no idea if they agreed because they could not understand a word I had said. For me, that was
Sometimes it can be really tiring.
You just don't know what anyone is going through, and you don't know what needs or issues might be coming up for a person.
The Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, is a civil rights statute that prohibits discrimination against persons with disabilities. Unlike other civil rights statutes, the ADA requires that affirmative steps be taken to ensure equal participation.
The Americans with Disabilities Act is a wonderful tool. It's something that you can get accommodations for testing that would include the LSAT. You can get accommodations all through law school. You can get accommodations for the bar. I think there's probably a lot of attorneys with disabilities who may not feel comfortable discussing that or seeking treatment. But I do think it's something that, I've been able to utilize accommodations.
And I did need to go to my employer at that time and ask for some additional breaks through my workday. With a brain injury, it's really easy to become overstimulated, be triggered by bright lights. That's another thing that I had to ask for, is some different lighting in my office area so that I could work more productively.
Remember, through the ADA, you have protections including the right to request reasonable accommodations through an interactive process with your employer, school, or when taking the bar exam. You can request an exception to a rule, policy, practice, or even a change in physical access or working environment that would give you the equal opportunity to participate in any educational program or work activity.
This is a demanding profession, but you absolutely can, keep up with those demands. Reasonable accommodations are not about lowering the bar. They're about creating an equal access. Working here at the Disability Law Center, it's important to me to show others in this profession that you can use accommodations, that you don't have to, that there are, treatments and services available. We have a lot of great fact sheets at the Disability Law Center on how to request accommodation.
The ADA provides protections if you request reasonable accommodation and also prohibits an employer, school, or other entity from discriminating against you on the basis of your disability.
For those of you who might be interested in pursuing a legal career, I would encourage you to do so.
You can do it. There's no reason you can't. I think that there might be different challenges or issues that will arise.
The legal profession thrives on having diversity and having unique voices who can bring needed perspectives.
The legal field is a place and an opportunity for all sorts of people. There's so many paths through which you can use your knowledge and your skills. There's not just one way to be an attorney.
Learning what your rights are, I think, is incredibly important. Knowing that there are resources out there for people.
And if you find yourself in the position where you do need that accommodation, you do need to ask for a little bit of help, everyone does. Everybody needs help. Yours just might be a different type of help, and that's okay.
Utah needs more attorneys with disabilities who can make a difference in the legal profession and in the lives of people throughout the state.
I didn't understand why people were coming to me like I never advertised. The reason they're referring people is not because I was successfully getting them a fair settlement or a fair verdict, but because I was compassionate about the injuries that they had suffered.
One reason I'm really grateful for my disability is I feel that it has helped me be aware of people who may not be noticed by others.
In my position, I work with individual clients to address harms that they suffered as a result of disability discrimination in the workplace.
I have done everything from, helping people request accommodations under the ADA to pushing back when those accommodations are denied.
If you're passionate about what you want to do, you'll succeed at it. And even though you can't see how it's going to happen, you have to move forward in uncertainty and press forward, and just know that that uncertainty is going to resolve as you do your best. There's plenty of room at the top.
If you want to learn more or seek support, please reach out to the Disability Law Center of Utah or the Utah Center for Legal Inclusion. Together, we can create a more inclusive legal field for everyone.